Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me on this webinar series, looking at the importance of consistent communication. It's so great to see so many of you here. This is going to hone on creating a consistent design, and our follow-up webinars will look at different aspects of a newsletter and how to make them consistent. To start off with, I'd love to introduce myself. And for all of you that don't recognize me, I'm Anushka from the customer success team, and I have always been involved with education as account counselor and mentor. Although you may be able to hear I'm from the UK originally, I do now live in Tel Aviv. To get things going, I'd like to introduce my partner in crime, my colleague Brian, to the floor. He will be my right-hand man and answer all the questions on the chat so I can maintain with you guys and stay focused with you all. Brian, over to you.
Hey everyone, good morning. I'm Brian. Thanks for taking the time to attend today. I work alongside Anushka on the customer success team. So throughout the webinar, if you have any questions that pop up, feel free to just throw them in the Zoom chat and I'll be happy to address them there. But I will pass it over to you, Anushka.
Thanks so much, Brian. So again, before we get going, let's begin this discussion by looking at what we will be covering in total. So before we look at creating a consistent design, why is it that we need to have constant communication throughout education? Why is it that consistency is important and not just communication? And how do we put them together? What do we really mean by having consistency in relation to the newsletters that are being sent out? We'll then look at some examples and hop over to my Smore account to really give you a perfect example of how to start off creating a consistent design. As mentioned before, please feel free to ask your questions in the chat. And there'll be many occasions where I ask for suggestions or ideas. So please feel free to unmute yourself and get involved. Thanks so much. Let's begin. So firstly, communication. Why is communication so important with our community throughout education? Well, let's take a minute to look at this slide. From reading the statistics and facts in this slide, all from research, you can see that trust is the most powerful component to help kids be successful at school. The more parents hear from the teachers and principals, the more they fill in the know about what is going on with their child at school. And the more involved they feel, the more trust they will have for adults in the building. And that's what's key. The more parents trust the adults at school and the more they support the children's education, this will lead to having higher attendance rates, higher academic achievements, improved behaviors in social and emotional functioning, more trust amongst your community when they know more about what's going on in school. And most importantly, if your parents are more engaged in the education of their children and more involved, you'll have lower dropout rates and higher college attendance rates. And something I would love to hone in on with that is that it's just as important for every child that belongs to your school and your community. It's not more important for immigrant families, and it's not less important for families who maybe have belonged to the district for generations now. If you're thinking and struggling to think about how to and what you can include in your newsletters, or what type of newsletters can be sent out other than the weekly classroom or homework schedule, don't worry. We will get to that soon. So now we've looked at communication and why that's so important. Why is it that it needs to be sent consistently? And what do we mean by consistency? Let's now take a look at these facts. Consistent branding and sending out communications consistently can help strengthen a personal or individual or a school and district brand. To be more specific, having reliable communication channels that positively promote a school's brand can not only bolster your identity, but also create a digital bond with the community. If we think about this in regards to education and pre-K through 12, we refer to this as brand ed, whereby educational brands position schools in their best light, using strategies that communicate the school's achievements beyond the views of test results or graduation rates. Branding, therefore, isn't simply your name, the logo, or the color scheme you use, but it's the way you present your school's character on every level of communication, be it emails, newsletters, signage, or even invoices. Brands bring together all the separate elements of your school and allow it to communicate with one clear voice in order to create a lasting impression on your community. Lastly, rather than conveying information as leaders, Using storytelling through branding, you're allowing your audience to engage in conversation. So the idea, therefore, of consistency is not creating one-way forms of communication where the school sends out information and no one responds, but really what we're looking to do is create a form and a vehicle where actually your communication allows for your audience to engage and also respond. Let's therefore put it together. What we're saying is that through branding and consistency, your communication therefore becomes more recognizable, which therefore helps your families engage with the newsletters and helps a community stay more connected. So through constant communication, which is consistent, you improve and enhance the trust with your families, improve the relationships with them, and therefore help your children succeed throughout their educational career. Does anyone have any questions before we look at how to actually put this into a newsletter design? No? Great. Let's take some examples then. Take a look at the list here of some of the newsletters that can be created. Most often, newsletters are created as a regular update regarding the school's schedule. In addition to these, however, they can also be used for various other reasons. Does anyone have any other ideas other than that on the list? Please share in the chat or unmute yourself. Okay. Let's therefore not just take the newsletter, but take the sections within a newsletter. After looking at this list, I'll give you a few seconds. I'd love to hone in on number 8 and 14. A great way of gaining the trust of your families is engaging with them on a topic which is without direct relation to their everyday education and classroom life. It shows them that you care for their general well-being and not just what you're teaching them, but them as general and with it human beings. For example, today we're going through tough times, so you could use your newsletters to highlight all the resources the school, district, and community may offer. You may not offer all the things I'm about to say, but here are some examples. What about counselling support for students or families? What about event or informational sessions to connect families with resources and support? You could also include financial assistance and community service resources. And one that I find very important is including school expectations and procedures, which encourages attendance and help families really understand how your school is being run and what you guys are doing to help in the situations that we are. If you're wondering how to include sections like these consistently, join me on my next webinar where we'll look at how to create a consistent structure. Does anyone have anything that they would like to add to these suggestions that I've provided? No? Great. So now we've looked at how you can create and why it's important to have consistent communication. Let's start this series by looking at creating a consistent design. I'm going to hop into my Smore account, so hopefully everyone can now see my Smore, which hopefully everyone's familiar with. I'm going to start by creating a new newsletter using our new editor. And I'm going to take, for example, the weekly update. So here we go. So there are many different aspects of a newsletter design that can be helped to strengthen that brand that we were talking about and the connection with your families. So let's start off by looking at the logo. You can add your logo. Let's go here and find my logo. And you can also therefore change different aspects of the background. So I'm going to add a custom background, which in our instance is a picture of the district building, therefore relating a connection to the newsletter as well. And I'm also going to go ahead and upload a header, a personalized header, trying to strengthen that connection as well. And I'm going to go back to the bottom now, and I'm going to look at here we have our footer edit. And if it is a newsletter coming from the district, I'm also going to change this and I'm going to make it into the district's bio as well. So these are all different aspects of how you can create a consistent design with your newsletter that your school and readers are going to start recognizing and start relating and connecting to. Does anyone have any questions? Fabulous. So now we've done the physical parts of the newsletter. Let's go to the design and also make that my own. So I'm going to click on a classic Smore. I really like that handwriting. And then I'm going to look at the color scheme and I'm going to choose this one. And lastly, I'm going to put in the Essex font. Now, one more thing that is very nice to create a design and whole and just close everything up is to add the slogan or a mission statement of your school or district. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the bottom and I'm going to add an image here of an example slogan that I have created. And now if we click done and we publish the newsletter, we can see here a nice branded, color coordinated design to the newsletter, which I will therefore start using frequently for all the newsletters I sent out, which will become recognizable and then just strengthen the brand knowledge that my families and readers have for the newsletters I'm sending out. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Hi, this is Chastity Costin, principal at Bigelow Middle School in Newton, Massachusetts. I love what you're saying in terms of brand knowledge and color coordination. I will say that I always go to Google and or Canva to create those headers, such as like you said, schedule of the day or parent support resources or our upcoming events. Might be more of a question, but a suggestion or ask if Smore could have those headers available for us and already color coordinated with the templates, just kind of like an automatic. That would be very helpful so that I don't have to create my own headers. Hopefully you understand what I'm asking.
I would just like to clarify specifically, because I would like to take as much information back to our product team as possible. Currently, you can create a header with Canva. Are you suggesting that we create pre-headers for you and have some template headers ready for you guys to use straight off the bat?
Sure. Like, for example, if I were inserting a section on upcoming events, right? And something like you have here that says, learn well today, live well tomorrow. If we had a header that said upcoming events and it was already color coordinated, like this, what you're showing us, and then all the different headers that we, like the ones on the previous slide, you know, principal message, parent communication, and those are already preset, pre-color coordinated to match the different templates, that would be very helpful.
Fabulous. I will take that back to our product team. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any suggestions or queries or questions that they want to share? No? Fabulous. So I'm going to hop back onto our slideshow here and just finish off by summarizing everything that we've discussed today and looking at the importance of consistent communication. So firstly, I want to hover in on the fact that good communication has been proven to improve the success of children's education. And as by the fact that communication is very useful in improving children's education, the more consistently you do it, the far more likely you are going to expand your readership because people start recognizing your newsletters, and therefore it'll help enhance the engagement rates that you're receiving and strengthen that bond with your community. And in doing so, the best way to do that with Smore is to create a consistent template that you can use week in and week out, and therefore have some familiarity to everything that you're sending. And one way of starting to do that is by creating a brand, be it with your header, background, footer, and logo. It's been so great to discuss with you all. I hope you join my next one looking at different aspects of consistency and how you can create a consistent structure to your newsletter. I will stay back for a few minutes in case anyone has any questions. Thanks so much.
Hey, good morning. I came in late. Sorry, I'm in two Zoom meetings at the same time.
Don't worry.
So I came in late, but I had one question. I'm a family ambassador for Fort Hays Career Center in Columbus, Ohio.
Definitely.
And one of my family ambassador coworkers, she was mentioning to me that we can add music to our newsletter to where it would automatically play, like as soon as the parents look at the newsletter. So kind of like how MySpace used to do, like when you would go to somebody's page, their music would play. I'm not sure if you're familiar with MySpace or not.
I am.
I was gonna say, that was
I'm
kind
not
of
that young.
So I've added music for like from YouTube, but like they have to push play. It doesn't automatically play. So I wasn't sure if there was an option like to be able to just add it like without having to be from YouTube and where it would be able to play automatically.
Sure. So currently, as you said, we can't play it automatically. It is just the possibility of adding it via YouTube. One of the main reasons for this is that people view the newsletter in so many different ways that it's not as easy just to have music be able to set, because how you view your newsletter affects how different things work, and there's different settings for each view share. That being said, I will take it to our product team and see if we can put it on the roadmap and take an idea through.
Thank you.
Of course, with pleasure. Any other questions?
Will this be, will you send this out to the people who signed up for this? Was it because it was recorded? Will you share the video?
Yes, of course I will. Everyone will receive a follow-up email in the next 2 days with the slides and the recording included.
Because I was a little late today. I think our time was off when I seen 11:10. I was thinking 10 my time, but it wasn't.
So sorry about that.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
I actually have a question about being able to, we've had a lot of requests for people being able to listen to our Smore being read back to them versus reading it, because as we know, people are really busy and that audio feature is really helpful. And so I was wondering if there are any plans, or if I'm missing something, that there is a read feature through Smore.
You're not missing anything. It's not something that we currently offer, and it's not something that has been brought up to us or that I know of, but it is a great idea. And I'm wondering now, thinking to myself, why have we not thought of it? So I will take this and put it on our roadmap and discuss it with our product team and see what we can do with that. I'll definitely take that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Of course, with pleasure.
And Nushka, we had a couple of questions come through. Corey Nordzig has asked in the chat, first, if you could review how to edit a photo, because he's having issues cropping them. And then secondly, if there's a way to add video directly from a mobile device.
Fabulous. So currently, I'll tackle the video question first. So again, to upload videos, you can just use YouTube links. If you have those YouTube links available on your phone, you can copy it into the Smore, but you can't actually just upload a video directly from your video library within your telephone. Corey, I hope you don't mind unmuting yourself, but is it a specific image? Because perhaps we can look at that one-on-one after. I'd be very happy to jump on a quick call with you. Or is it generally how to edit photos?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Sorry for the background noise. It's funny, it's spotty. Sometimes I can edit it and I can crop it so that there isn't the black sides. And sometimes I can't. And I can't figure out, is it something I'm doing or is it maybe something on your end?
So the sizing of the images, and I know we have like a gray background, is something that we're constantly trying to improve and fix on. And with the new editor being in beta, it still isn't better because there are so many new features we've introduced that not everything is quite perfect. But the photos is something that our team are working on to make sure that the sizing and the cropping capabilities are as strong as possible. But again, if you wanted to show me after, I'm happy to jump on a separate call with you. But in general, those photos and getting the alignments correct is something our tech team are working to improve before we take the word better away from the new editor.
I have a question.
Thank you.
Of course.
There was one time I was working on the newsletter, and I know there's a thing that says it auto saves, but it didn't really auto save. So I had to redo the newsletter all over again. So I was just wondering if I was missing something.
I can't answer that completely because I obviously can't see the newsletter, but what you will find is that our newsletters do autosave, but if you don't publish them, when you next open the newsletter, the old edit might be the image. So you then just need to click publish and you'll see all the updated versions.
Okay, that's helpful. That's probably what I missed.
No problem at all.
And there was one more that popped in the chat here, Anushka.
Sure.
Jacqueline Kemp has asked if we could explain how to copy and paste a newsletter directly into email.
Okay. What do you mean by that, Jacqueline? Do you mind?
Yeah, so actually my school, I'm an online teacher and we have a web mail. So what I'm doing now is I actually take the link and I tell my parents and students to click on the link. Yeah. And then it takes them to the Smore. But I know there's a way that when they open up my webmail, they see the Smore and it saves them the click to the link.
Sure. Sorry.
Yeah. So maybe that's a connections question. But isn't there like in basic email, like Google or Gmail, whatever, isn't there a way that you would take that link and move it somewhere where somebody, if you sent them an email, they could just open up the email and it would have that Smore, or no?
So can I just double check which mailing system you're referring to? The web mail that you're talking to, is that a mass notification system or is that just your own Gmail account, for example?
Well, the web mail is a Pearson account with Connections Academy. So that might be a Connections Academy question. But go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. We do have the ability to embed your newsletter into a mass notification system. So when you look at your newsletter, once it's published, there's 3 options. There's send it via email, send it via mass notification system, and the last one is to upload it to our template center. So if I share my screen with you guys again, bear with me 1 second. If I share my screen with Week here, and what you can do is if you click on share on mass notification system, you get a cool code. And what you can do is copy this code into the source button of your mailing system, of the Pearson system. So when you go to create a message through Pearson, there should be a source button. And you can copy this code into the source button. And this is all the newsletter, and then it will embed nicely for you.
A source button. Well, I'll have to find that.
Yeah.
But that's good to know.
Yeah, if you do want to send it directly via email, you can send that via Smore by clicking on email and creating new mailing lists.
Oh, very nice.
Well,
thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Anything else?
One more, Anushka, just popped in. Charlotte Wynn has asked how we change the picture and words at the very bottom of the newsletter. So I believe this is referring to the footer specifically.
Fabulous. Let's hop back into the newsletter. 1 second, everyone. Clicking share as we speak. Fabulous. So are you referring to this area here, Charlotte?
Yes.
Fabulous. So if we click on edit newsletter, and we scroll to the bottom, you can click edit. And here, if you click there, you can click on cross or crop. Let's cross it this time, and then you can connect to your computer and add a different photo.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Anything? I have a question.
Sure.
When you're adding a picture, there's an option to do just one picture, and then there's the gallery option. And I'm wondering if the amount of pictures that you can have in the gallery can be edited.
So currently you can have a maximum of 3 by clicking the gallery button once, or you can add 2. But currently to add more than that, you're just going to have to click that again.
Okay.
Corey, do you mind
Was
unmuting yourself? Oh,
Is there a way to, when I send out my newsletter, because I just copied and pasted all of my parents' emails onto my mailing list, but when I send it out, it sends as a PDF. So with the PDF, it doesn't translate into different languages. So I end up having to go back and when I send the email out, I have to add an attached message with that link to the newsletter just so they can see the version where they'll be able to translate it, but also where they're able to see the updated version, all the updates that I add, because sometimes I get new information and I add it on daily. So with the PDF, they don't see the updates either. They can only see.
Just sorry, I missed why you're sending it out as a PDF.
No, when I go into my mailing list on my newsletter, like if I'm sending it out directly from my mailing list, it sends it as the PDF, because I sent a sample to myself just to see how it's going to send out, and it said PDF.
So let's take that offline. Jacala, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. If you wouldn't mind, I will email you after the meeting, because it shouldn't be sending as a PDF. So I'm wondering what's happening, and it's more of a specific question, if you don't mind.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. I'm going to hop back on and show you how to upload a custom background. I know we're going on to half an hour, so please feel free to hop off if you guys do need to. I'm going to share this. And I'm going to go into here, and it was looking at a custom background. If you click on background, can everyone see this page? Yes, fabulous. Just checking. You can custom. I've already uploaded the image to Smore, so it's there already. But if you click add background here, you can connect to your computer again and have the links to all the photos that you upload to your computer. Brian, are there any more questions that you can see?
Nope, I believe we're all caught up.
Fabulous. Well, again, I'm happy to stay on with anyone that needs to stay on and has any questions. But if not, have a really fabulous day. I will send a follow email with everything we've gone through today, including the webinar slides and also the recording. Thank you so much.
I do have one more quick question. When I add my own backgrounds, like if I try to, let me see if I can turn my screen around real quick. When I tried, oh, it won't let me. Oh, there it is. If I add a background, like when I'm trying to slide down, like scroll down, I think I gotta unblur my background, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't see anything. It looks like
yeah,
it's
I'm on Zoom on my computer, and then I don't remember how I did it. How I blurred my. I don't even remember how I blurred my background before. There go background effects. So none.
Yeah, you can click unblurred. That's the option to.
Okay. So when sorry, I got a whole bunch of windows open. So if I go to edit,
yeah,
and then I try to change my background,
yeah,
see, I have more down here, but it won't let me like view all the way down, and it looks like it's going to work today. I don't know why it make me look like a liar, but I'm like, I can't never get, well, I still can't get down like to the bottom when I just have to sometimes. That's why I have so many of the same ones, because I still have to keep adding because it won't let me like scroll down.
Fabulous. I would love, Jacala, just in order for me to take that to the tech team for you, if you could screen record yourself doing that and send it to us at the support team, or the customer success at smore.com would be the best email. Then I can take that to the team and get back to you with what's happening then.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. With pleasure.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye, Jaquela. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.
I have a question. Are we going to get a copy of the tutorial in the email or
Yes.
slideshow, whatever? Okay.
You'll get all the
I did jump
presentations.
in okay, thank you.
Sure.
And I had asked a question in the chat because some parents, they get the newsletter right in the email, and others, it says that it cannot support it and they have to click on another link to get to another link to get to the newsletter. So I was wondering if there was a setting that they are missing or something.
It could be a setting on their side. For example, there's one common setting that confuses people, is that if you have the setting which prevents images from being shown in emails, because the newsletter comes to us in email, you have to click display images in order to view the newsletter. That could be one. But if it is just certain people and it's not like a bug, you send it to yourself and you're receiving it normally and you send it to others that do, it will be an issue on the reader's side in the settings of their email.
Okay. So there's nothing I can do in the newsletter itself to ensure that recipients actually view the newsletter in the email?
If you are testing it and people are receiving it regularly, it sounds like it's an issue on the settings of their email mailing service.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Anyone else have any questions before I let you get on with the day? No. Well, thank you so much and have a lovely day. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.